Welcome to Belgro's Funeral Home, where we celebrate life's precious moments. From the moment you enter our doors, you're met with kindness and care. Our reception area is designed to be more than just a waiting room. It is a place of calm, thoughtfully created to ease the weight of grief. In our private conference room, conversations are guided by empathy. Here, our client experience coordinators sit beside you, not just across the table to help plan a service that truly reflects your loved one's story. Whether it's a traditional farewell or a personalized celebration of life, we take time to understand your wishes and offer thoughtful guidance. At the heart of our organization is a dedicated manager who ensures that everything runs smoothly, from the smallest detail to the final farewell. We understand that choosing a casket or a coffin is a deeply personal decision. In our selection room, we provide a calm, respectful environment where families can take their time and explore options that reflect their loved one's life, beliefs, and preference. Our spacious chapel is where memories are honored and lives are celebrated. Designed with serenity and warmth, it provides a welcoming space for families and friends to come together in reflection and remembrance. For families choosing cremation, we offer on-site professional cremation services in a setting that upholds dignity, peace, and confidentiality. Our crematorium offers a seamless and respectful alternative to traditional burial, giving families flexibility while maintaining the highest standard of care.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Good morning and welcome to Youth Wednesdays on the Tobago Updates Morning Show. You're viewing us live in Portmore, Scarborough, Tobago. My name is Dwayne Nurse and we are here yet again in the smack center in the middle of the week to bring you that youthful vibe, that youthful vigor here on Tobago Updates Television. Good morning to all our ardent viewers who, wherever you're viewing us in the world, on whatever platform, whether it be YouTube or 102 on AMPLIA. We want to issue you a special good morning from us on Youth Wednesdays. This morning, I'm joined with...
Good morning to Trinidad and Tobago, especially good morning to you. I am your host, Renessa Ortiz, and I'm joining Dwayne this morning here in studio. Dwayne, we have a lot this morning.
Oh yes, we have quite a lot for you guys this morning. But before we go into a lot that we have for you, we're going to go straight over to news in 90 seconds with Miss Ortiz.
Thank you, Dwayne. Here's your news in 90 seconds for Wednesday, September 10th, 2025. The Division of Education, Research and Technology has rejected allegations by the Trinidad and Tobago Unified Teachers Association that Tobago schools were unfit to reopen. Tutor Tobago officer Brandon Roberts had highlighted unsanitary conditions at Mason Hall Government Primary School, accusing the division of poor planning and communication. DIRTEC admitted repair delays at the school but denied students were instructed to share washrooms. Attendance reports showed most schools opened smoothly, with 78.4% of students and 93% of teachers present across Tobago. The Port Authority has added 7 round trips on the sea bridge between October 23rd to 29th to meet demand for Tobago's October Carnival, creating 11,304 extra passenger seats. The Galleon's passage leads with 4 additional sailings, offering 5,600 seats. The APT James will provide 2 more trips, adding 3,704 seats, while the Buko Reef contributes 1 trip with 2,000 seats. Half of the added capacity caters to one-way travel from Port of Spain to Scarborough. Officials confirmed the announcement has sparked an immediate rush for tickets. Prime Minister Kamala Persad-Bissessar has dismissed Colombian President Gustavo Petro's appeal for Trinidad and Tobago to search for bodies following a U.S. airstrike on an alleged drug boat on September 2nd. Persad-Bissessar said state resources will not be used to recover dead drug traffickers, though remains found on local shores will be collected. She insisted the vessel was not civilian and defended the strike as part of the fight against trafficking. Petro's statement drew criticism, while regional security tensions heightened following the incident. And that was your news in 90 seconds.
Thank you, Ms. Ortiz, for news in 90 seconds. How are you this morning, though?
I'm really good.
You need to share some of that goodness with me this morning. But guys, we have been hearing a lot in this space about this, development happening with the U.S. intervention in the Caribbean.
Mm-hmm.
What is your take on it? And are you fearful? And if so, what are you fearful of?
Well, since the start of this entire situation, there's one word that a lot of people have been throwing around. Mm-hmm. It's the sovereignty.
Sovereignty.
I think a lot of people are concerned about it, and I did a bit of research on what sovereignty is. And essentially what it is the government's ability to govern without
external intervention.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. And I researched some categories where it relates to sovereignty in finances, sovereignty mm-hmm. in controlling your borders. And usually what happens when you invite an outside entity within your country to take care of affairs, you usually have to give things up in order for you to be able to get the benefit from them being present.
Right.
And I think one of my fear is the fact that Trinidad and Tobago is so small compared to Venezuela. When you look at their military to our military, if there's a war
to ensue.
Exactly. What is that going to look like for us here in Trinidad and Tobago? That is my main concern, because with war comes disruption of your economy, disruption of your everyday life, the civilians, the deaths that would ensue, and all of these things. So that is what is troubling to me at this point in time.
Yeah. For me, though, and I quite agree with you, I don't think a war would ensue between Venezuela and Trinidad. What may happen is that should Maduro retain his presidency, the the relationship Trinidad and Tobago once had with Venezuela may become tarnished or marred, right? However, should he not retain his presidency, it gives the opportunity for new partnerships, new relationships, right? But as it pertains to war breaking up between Trinidad and Tobago, I think for me, it's the least of my concern, because the Prime Minister would have, uh, you know, uttered her support for the intervention of the U.S., the United States in our Caribbean waters, with the intention of eradicating drug cartel and drug trade between the islands and surrounding islands.
Now, when I say war, I don't mean specifically between. I'm just saying that usually when you're allied with someone, usually you feel some of that fire.
Yeah, and I agree with you. I agree with you. But I think the U.S. might be rather equipped for that, and in as much as Maduro is rallying his ground troops, I don't think it would escalate where Maduro will strike one of the U.S. assets or anything like that. I don't. To me, that
Well,
is
let's hope that
things will
everything's
escalate.
go
Yeah,
in the best
yeah,
way possible.
yeah. But I mean, we are wrong. We are wrong. We're just close to Carnival. Carnival is 1 month away, a couple of weeks away, rather. A month, I should say. Yes. I don't know if you'll be running down the place, in the streets. But another thing that I'm very excited about, I don't know if you were able to, tune in. But yesterday, Apple announced its new flagship phones. I was, a little bit less disappointed than I was last year, but it's the technology is quite attractive, and I know Mr. Wood would be investing in a new Apple device and ditching his Samsung device, right?
Dwayne, I don't agree with you there. I don't.
You don't like them?
I have an Apple device. However, I would not bash Android at all.
No, I'm not bashing. I'm just saying that he would switch.
He doesn't have to.
No, I'm saying that he has to, right? But I believe that he will, given the compelling, keynote that occurred yesterday on Apple TV. But guys, that is it for us. We're gonna go straight over to our birthdays, and just give me a moment. Who do we have first?
We have Mr. Erland Clark.
Oh, hey, that's my dog. Happy birthday goes out to you. Sorry, my bad. That was rather uncouth, but happy birthday goes out to you, Mr. Clark. It's been a while, I haven't seen you. You stop calling my phone. You give me a call, right? In fact, I will call you today once you're in the country. Happy birthday goes out to you from us on Youth Wednesdays and from Tobago Updates, from the Tobago Updates family. Who do we have next?
We have Miss Canaria Caruth. Happy birthday to you. We hope you have a very joyful day and all your heart's content is given to you today.
All right. And last but certainly not...
I'll take this one too.
Sure.
Happy birthday to you, Andrea, darling. I hope you have a really great day. Such a beautiful soul. I had the opportunity to meet her last day, and ever since then, I wish you all the best today and that you have a great day. And happy birthday from us here at the Tobago Updates family.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Ortiz, for giving us the birthdays greetings this morning. We're gonna go straight over to our rundown, and this morning we have quite an interesting rundown for you. First, coming to discuss with the second place winner of the children of Mastana. Yeah. Baha is Miss Mia Bipath. She'll be coming to discuss with us. And who do we have next?
We have Mr. Nathaniel Allen, founder of Wellness Express Medical Transportation Limited. He's here to talk about his business launch.
All right, and last but certainly not least, we have the Gosplosion Extravaganza. And this morning we're going to be discussing with Brother Francis John of the Seventh-day Adventist movement here in Tobago. So that's it for our rundown for you this morning. And we have to tell him to do one thing before we go on our break, which is to share the live, share the live, share the live.
Coconut's Cafe, the buffet restaurant that specializes in all your tasty local dishes. For breakfast and for lunch. Breakfast includes coconut bake and sada roti, served with chokers, bull joil, and sausages in tomato sauce. Not forgetting beef and cheese pies, shepherd's pie, macaroni pie, and rice in various styles. Meats served in a variety of flavors, garden salads, and pasta salads. All this accompanied by fruit juices, coconut water, your choice of a great combination to appease your taste buds. So call us today to order, as we are here to accommodate your busy schedules or if you are having a cooking day off.
Tobago Updates Television recognizes women in business. Every Thursday morning on the morning show, we engage with women-owned and operated businesses from right here in Tobago. We'll discover these women, their businesses, what inspired their business, their highs and their lows, and their encouragement to you. Join me, your host, Adana Kambi, this and every Thursday on the morning show from 7:40 a.m. as we celebrate and encourage women in business.
I send in a big, 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 big dirty bun for you. Better than them. And I have a big, 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 big dirty bun for you. So you better don't run. Come back on me, say don't run. Good morning, Bacchanal. How do you do? It's very critical. Talk to you, but it's a long, 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 long road. I'm going on. And I need somebody to my life, but stay strong. Bless me with Juve, Carnival is my time,
Hair goals, we've got 'em. At S&R Hair Fantasy, we provide a wide variety of quality hair, the latest hair accessories, adult toys, skin lightening products, female underwear, and much more under one roof. Check us out on Shelbourne Street in Plymouth or call us at 317-0808. We're open Monday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. S&R Hair Fantasy for queens who know exactly what they want.
Are you in a dispute with a registered investment service provider of the TTSEC? Or maybe you're the victim of an investment scam? You can lodge a complaint or submit an anonymous tip to the Trinidad and Tobago Securities and Exchange Commission. Download our Investor Protection app or go to ttsec.org.tt to access our complaint form or submit an anonymous tip. Write a clear summary of your complaint. Submit copies of supporting documents along with the originals for verification. Provide a copy of the feedback received from the entity regarding your complaint. All investor complaints or scam reports submitted by the public are acknowledged and reviewed by the TTSEC. Investigations are pursued based on the outcome of the review. Trinidad and Tobago Securities and Exchange Commission, protecting the interests of investors and the public. You invest. We protect. Everyone benefits.
Today, the man down in a pillar or he down in a soup, you know what I mean? Pretty. It or sing it, pretty head, it's simple. I am going to sing or try to, because I'm not a singer, sing piece of a song. You have to complete it, you have to give us the lyrics. So if you not a singer, right? I bet me in you. What? Yo. Really? Yo, what's going on? Yo, what's going on?
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
morning and welcome back to Tobago Updates. Here in studio we have Maya Bipat, our second place winner from Tobago for the Mastana Baha. Good morning, Mia. Good morning, Mrs. Kulwati Bipat. Thank you so much for coming again.
Sitaram, and a pleasant good morning to everyone.
A pleasant good morning to Trinidad and Tobago.
Good morning. I know the last time you were here, you were getting prepared and ready for the competition in Trinidad, and my grandmom was here with you as well, showing that support, and she's here again this morning showing that support. First of all, congratulations on your second place finish. How did it feel to represent Tobago on the national stage?
I feel very proud. I feel like I support my home country. It makes Trinidad and Tobago very proud. Even Tobago people, I hope that those people out there are very proud of me and everybody else. Never give up.
I am sure they are very proud of you, and I'm watching your grandmom's face. I'm seeing you pride on her face. And as a parent and leader in the Hindu community, how proud are you of Mia's accomplishment?
I am indeed very proud. I am indeed very happy. Mia started singing at an early age. She started from about 3 years. She started learning, and she took part in many competitions before entering this one. And her first competition was when my late brother died, and the marriage competition, they were honoring him. And they had asked my brother had asked her to perform because they were honoring all these legendary singers. So Mia have been taking part in the past years in the marriage competition. And this have encouraged Mia to go further than this one. And when they approached me to ask Mia to take part in the Children of Mastana, Mia was happy to be a contestant at the show.
That's really awesome. Now, before we continue with the interview, I know we have a snippet of her competing at the competition. So we just want to show that to our viewers to show what Mia did in this competition.
Right. Yeah.
Guys, and we are seeing the confidence that Mia showcased while performing on stage. Mia, why did you choose that song?
Because it is a very nice, soothing, melodious song.
And I can see you also got the audience going with the little dance in the end. I am truly proud of you for you to be exuding that level of confidence at this age. And I know sometimes a lot of young people at this age, they are very timid and shy, but to see you up on that stage and performing in that capacity, I am truly proud of you. Now, what was going through your mind during the competition, especially while waiting for the results? I know that is the part where your nerves usually start shaking and you're wondering, did I do my best? Am I going to place? What is it going to be like? What was going through your mind during that point in time?
Well, I wanted my Tobago people to be very proud of me. I wanted to be top place because I wanted to make my family proud, my friends proud, everybody proud. Never give up on your career.
And I know most importantly, you wanted to make yourself proud.
Of course.
Now, how did you prepare for the Mastana Baha? Was there a special routine, mentor, practice schedule that kept you on that path to your second place victory?
Every day I've been practicing this song.
Every day?
Yes, every day.
Anyone in particular you were practicing with?
Well, I was practicing with my musicians. My musicians were playing for me.
Were your parents and grandmom present as well, cheering you on?
Yes, of course.
What's one moment from the competition that you'll never forget?
I never forget that those people who were cheering on me.
Very good. And I think support is very important. And it usually helps in boosting confidence and giving you that feeling of, okay, I'm doing something very good on the stage. And for you, Mrs. Purwati, I want to ask, from your perspective, what does it mean for Tobago to have representation in cultural events such as the Mastana Baha?
Well, this is to encourage the young children to showcase their talent. And seeing that Mia had this talent on the background from our family is very talented. My nephew is also a singer, Govinda Ramluga, and my daughter Sita Bipat is also a dancer. So this just started in the family. It's part of the generation. Yeah, part of the generation. And I must say that I am indeed very, very proud of Mia, because Mia was being selected to go and represent Tobago as well at the Diwali Nagar, which is starting on the 11th of October. And she's due to sing on the big stage on the 17th of October. And then they called a few days back and they wanted Mia to sing for 2 days. So Mia have to sing 4 songs and she would be representing that. Mia also sang at the Ganesh Utsav celebration where the Prime Minister and the High Commissioner of India and all those people were present. Mia was absolutely had the privilege to perform there at that program while we were in Trinidad. And I really want to compliment Mia for taking that part and going forward.
But Mia, you are doing a lot.
Yes.
I thought it was just the Mastana Baha competition, but you have been doing so much in this space. And I'm hoping that as time goes by, you continue and you improve, and then you're able to take a lot of other young people under your wing as well, and give them that opportunity as well to showcase their talent as well, and going to school. And you're at the Scarborough RC school. You're going to be an example to those who are looking up to you, other members in your Hindu community as well. And I think that is important, that when our young people are going out and representing us, they are also able to give back to those who are coming up after them. And I know you would guide her along in that part.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So Mia, what's next for you after this?
Well, I want to go more competitions. That I'm looking towards more competitions in the future.
Awesome. And I know there will be many more, and there will be also many more opportunities as well. As your grandma mentioned, you're already being put into these spaces to spread your wings and to flourish. Now, before we go, I just want to ask one more question for the audience who may not know what the Mastana Baha was about. Can you briefly give them a description?
Okay, the Mastana Baha production is a competition they have for young children to showcase their talent. Every year they have that talent. They choose children from all over Trinidad, and well, this year they included Tobago, and Mia was part. This is to let the children improve on their singing skill, their talent, whatever talent they could perform, that they showcase that, and they get the different sponsors to sponsor the children for the show. So that is why Mia was indeed lucky to be part of that program for the youth.
Okay. Thank you so much, Mrs. Bipa. Thank you so much, Mia, for coming on this morning to showcase and to share with us your victory at the Mastana Baha. In second place, we are so proud of you. Tobago is proud of you. Your family is proud of you. And I just want to wish you, all the best as you continue to pursue this field, and that you would continue to improve and to be better each time.
Thank you, teachers. Yeah.
Thanks to my teachers and my principal for encouraging me, even my class and my school.
Thank you so much for coming on this morning, and I hope you guys have a great day and keep up the good work, Mia, and continue to guide her. And before we go to the break, I want you guys to remember to share the live, share the live, share the live. We'll be right back.
Hey! Quartz is well known as the Caribbean's largest retailer, providing consumers for generations with the very best products to enhance their homes. This year, we bring our expertise to businesses. Quartz Business Solutions will serve small, medium, and large companies with the very best products at the most competitive prices, backed by warranties and after-sales support. Hoteliers, office managers, restaurants, and so many more. Quartz Business Solutions, a brand of the Unicomer Group.
Is here. AMPLIA. 100 years of excellence to honor the past and ignite the future. Saturday, September 30th at the Magdalena. The Centennial Gala, hosted by Bishop's High School Tobago. An all-inclusive evening of entertainment, culinary delights, and timeless vibes. And at midnight, raise your glass as we welcome the next 100 years. Limited early bird tickets, $750. Secure yours at islandetickets.com. An all-white affair. One night, one century, one legacy.
Tobago Updates Television recognizes women in business. Every Thursday morning on The Morning Show, we engage with women-owned and operated businesses from right here in Tobago. We'll discover these women, their businesses, what inspired their business, their highs and their lows, and their encouragement to you. Join me, your host, Adana Kambi, this and every Thursday on The Morning Show from 7:40 a.m. as we celebrate and encourage women in business.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Welcome back. We are here in studio with Nathaniel Allen, and we're diving into a story of vision, compassion, and innovation. He's the founder of Wellness Express Medical Transportation Limited, a company born out of the desire to make mobility more accessible, dignified, and inclusive for the elderly and physically impaired. Good morning, Nathaniel.
Good morning to you.
Thank you for coming on set this morning. I know you launched your business in August 2025.
Yes.
Tell us what that was like, what the launch was like, what led up to the launch, and what were things you were most proud of.
Okay, so that's an interesting question actually. So in August, the vehicle that we bought is a specialized mobility vehicle, fit for wheelchair transfer, stretcher transfer. And we had that coming in August, but while it was coming in, when it was already here and we're just getting everything cleared and set up, I informed someone that I knew that it was here. It just happened that he actually had a family member that needed the transportation service at that time. So the launch wasn't anything official, if I'm to be honest with you. It just went straight into work. So as soon as it came, we heard someone needed help, we created a solution, and we got to that.
And it's interesting that you mentioned that it was just a matter of convenience at the point in time you were able to help someone. And I'm guessing that was the inspiration behind starting the business in the first place. Now, can you pinpoint some of the gaps even before this initial encounter with your friend, what were the gaps you realized here in the Tobago space that gave you that opportunity or that idea to start this business?
Okay. So to answer that better, just have to give you a little background about myself. So I'm a physiotherapist. I work out of an office in Canby. Also, I do private home care. So I go house to house, work with different persons that may not be able to leave home or prefer not to leave home. All right. So in this home care setting, I have witnessed a lot of persons that need to get to medical appointments, for example. So someone needs to go to Trinidad to have their pacemaker checked, and they will wonder, how am I going to get out of the house? How am I going to get there? Or another example is her brother passed and she wants to get to the funeral. And then the question came up, how am I going to get to the funeral if I can't even leave the bed? And I decided, in Tobago, we need more solutions. So I literally sat down and I wrote a list of problems, I wrote all the concerns, and I decided to find a solution for every one of these things. So with that now, I was able to find a solution to every problem, create a plan on how we could go forward, and the business was started. I saw a lack in safe transportation. A trip like this is very anxiety-inducing. It might sound simple to us, you go into church and come back. But for someone that has been bedbound, or for someone that had a serious injury or amputation, for example, moving again is a very, very big step. So instead of allowing persons to drown in their fears and their anxiety, we decided to create a solution, something that could bring comfort, keep their dignity, and allow them to feel confident in the transfer.
No, you just answered the question I was going to ask you next.
Okay.
I was going to ask you, what makes your business different from other transportation methods? But you have already answered that in terms of giving persons who have mobility issues that opportunity to feel dignified and independence, because a lot of us, the bipeds, who are walking day by day, we are running, we are up and down doing our errands, we generally take the fact that we're able to move from point A to point B freely for granted.
Definitely.
And I believe I also take it for granted, because just the fact that you're mentioning someone wanting to go to a funeral and they're not able to, they have to wonder how they're getting there, and then also it's anxiety inducing, wondering, okay, if I get up from here, am I going to safely get from point A to point B? Is someone going to care for me? Is it a situation where if I fall, would someone be around to help me?
Definitely.
Or am I going to be a burden to someone who's trying to help me? So it's really amazing that you took the time with your background in physiotherapy as well to highlight some of these issues and come up with a solution, because that is what business is all about, finding a solution for all persons who would be impacted by that specific problem.
Definitely.
Now, accessibility and dignity are mentioned in part of your philosophy. How do you ensure that your passengers feel that way? What is your team trained in? What are you trained in terms of getting that message sent to your clients and your potential customers?
All right. So in terms of training, everyone within this team is trained in some way. For example, we have EMTs that are trained in emergency medical technician training, and they are able to help persons that have different emergency issues, but as well as non-emergency issues. They'll be able to take charge, make sure persons are safe, they're comfortable. We'll be checking vitals throughout. So in the vehicle, we have all the medical testing equipment, blood pressure testing, glucose monitors, oxygen monitors, etc., thermometers even. And other than these, we are also all trained in CPR, first aid, and AED. All right? So if it is we are to run into certain unfortunate circumstances, which could happen sometimes in a transport like this, we might have some adverse events. We are all trained and ready to assist in a situation like that. We also have systems in place. So if it is something is to go wrong, we know who we're going to call. We know where all the nearest health centers, hospitals are. So we know how to resolve the situation as fast as possible. All right? And other than that, myself being a physiotherapist, I ensure that everyone is perfectly trained in safe patient handling, transfers, patient lifting. So everyone is equipped to manage situations like these.
I hope our viewers are listening to how proactive Mr. Allen is. He has something for each problem just in case, and I believe that is something that a lot of customers and clientele love to hear, that you are proactive, you have things in place in the event that something goes wrong, because no one wants to hear that I'm putting you in charge of the care of maybe an elderly family member and things are going wrong. They want to ensure that that level of safety and comfort is there. They know that you are able to handle any crisis that comes to the forefront, and thank you so much for that and putting that solution out there.
No problem.
And I noticed the mention of a stair climber add-on. Could you explain how that works and the difference it makes for people with mobility challenges?
Yeah, sure. So the stair climber, this is for, I don't know how I'll explain this. I'll use a personal example. So my grandmother, if I'm to give you a little story on her, she had a stroke within recent times. And my grandmother is one that passionately hates to be lifted. So even in the midst of having this stroke, she will still put on a fight if you try to lift her. So for persons like her, and we have a lot of persons that may be anxious and fearful of being lifted, we have our automatic stair climber where persons would never have to leave the wheelchair.
Okay.
So in my initial vision, I had a goal of being able to transport persons from their bed to their appointment and back to their bed without them having to leave the wheelchair. The only time they leave is to go into the bed.
Okay.
All right? So, for example, we have someone leave the bed, they go into their wheelchair upstairs. We roll them onto the stair climber, the wheelchair stair lift. We just adjust it to the step, click a button, and it automatically carries them down. They don't have to leave the wheelchair. And even on the stair climber, there's a securement belt to make sure they feel safe and comfortable for the entire ride. So we get down to the bottom level of the step, we bring it upright again, and just roll them off, and we go to the vehicle.
I feel safe and comfortable, and I don't have any mobility challenges. I don't know how much more you could sell this to our viewers and your potential clients. I really do not know, because the level of thoughts that went into this, the level of care, you could see that you're actually passionate about it, and especially sharing that personal story about your grandmom. It also shows that you have a deep understanding of what it is that you're doing. It's not just something that you thought about overnight and it's like, okay, I'm going to create a business out of this. You could see the compassion inside of all of this. Now, you mentioned medical appointments, but you also talked about family gatherings, graduations, and social events. Why was it important for you to ensure that that was also a part of your packaging?
Okay, and that again comes back to my passion. So I am a very firm and passionate believer that life does not end with a disability. You could have a disability, you could have a problem, but life doesn't stop there. And I understand that it could be very fearful after having big changes in your life. But we are here now to help you recreate your life experiences. So for persons that may be bedbound, we could now show them that you don't have to miss your granddaughter's graduation. You don't have to miss your daughter's wedding. If it is you want to just go to watch a football game in the stadium, we need to go and watch the football game. We'll find a way to get you there. So it's a lot more than just medical transportation now. It's going into a place of showing persons that accessibility is for them, and also that not only getting around is for privileged persons, because I don't believe that accessibility should be a high-level situation. I believe that everyone should be able to access, get provided care.
I'm very pleased to hear that. Very, very pleased. Now, I just have two more questions before we wrap up. The first one is, what are your long-term goals? What does the 5-year plan look like for the Wellness Limited?
Okay, so 5-year plan for Wellness Express. I would like to have a fleet of vehicles throughout Tobago, where we would have vehicles based on all areas of Tobago. So we could have same-day calls, someone could ask for assistance, and even if it is one transportation is working in, say, Canaan, we have someone else in Charlottesville waiting to pick up and carry someone up there as well. So I want to be able to grow to a place where we could accommodate anyone throughout Tobago in any area as fast as possible. But I also want to provide a service where we could expand to Trinidad at some point. Because a lot of situations that we experience isn't only here in Tobago, but it's throughout Trinidad and Tobago. So I would like to be able to spread into that realm as well. Yeah.
Would it be 24/7? I know you said you want them to be able to call you same day, but I think also expanding that to a 24/7 service as well is also important, because you never know what will happen at a specific given time throughout the day.
I agree. And yes, it is a 24/7 service.
Yeah. So you needed to highlight that first, and the viewers, it's a 24/7 service. For the families listening who may need your service, how can they get into contact with you?
All right. So you can call us at 343-1779. You could WhatsApp us at that same number, or you could message us on Facebook at Wellness Express TT, at Instagram at Wellness Express TT. You could get us at any of these options.
Nathaniel, thank you so much for sharing your journey, for introducing us to this new initiative across Tobago. I am proud of you.
Thank you.
And I know for a fact you would be able to bring some sort of independence and dignity back to people who are facing mobility challenges. Thank you so, so much.
No problem.
And I wish you all the best in your endeavors.
Thank you very much.
And to our viewers, before we go, remember to share the live, share the live, share the live. We'll be right back.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Come on.
With Flow Business's new smart solutions powered by super fast, reliable broadband, you'll feel like there are more versions of you working for you. From website design, development, and digital marketing to promote your business, 24/7 business class support to cloud solutions, security, and more. Multiply your growth today.
The event of the century is here. AMPLIA. 100 years of excellence to honor the past and ignite the future. Saturday, September 30th at the Magdalena. The Centennial Gala, hosted by Bishop's High School, Tobago. An all-inclusive evening of entertainment, culinary delights, and timeless vibes. And at midnight, raise your glass as we welcome the next 100 years. Limited early bird tickets, $750. Secure yours at islandetickets.com. An all-white affair. One night, one century, one legacy.
That's essentially the main catalyst which drove Frenzy Mass. I mean, all of us would have done a lot of things together, and this was just the next step now, evolution. We lime, we party, so why don't we take all of that and bring it into Tobago, into a form of mass, where we could go on Gallivant and do the same thing where other people could see what we do it on a bigger stage.
But at this point in time, I think Frenzy is important to me, so I decided to put some energies there. It's our first year Tobago Carnival, you know, we now partner with Iconic Mass, and it's our first time, so I felt like, yeah, just see, come and really stamp your name and make that presence from the mass side of things. So that's the vibe, Frenzy Mass, really excited for Tobago this year.
Love to see the girl bend over. Arch your back, me girl. Arch your back, arch your back. Stop the arches. Me girl. Arch your back, arch your back.
Say 1, 2, tie up your shoe. 3, 4, bend back more. 5, 6, no time for tricks. Wine like you're feeling for sticks. So I want you bend like you're feeling to scream your leg. Hold on by your ankle them. Not just you, girl, you want your freak, you want your bed.
Hold me girl and wine, in Frenzy Mass. Watching how that is what I was seeing. Rocking it slow. That is what I was seeing.
So guys, there are some new developments in housing in Tobago. So it's goat racing time.
This is 116, the show that keeps you in the know with all things Tobago House of Assembly. Each week, 116 delivers a fun and engaging overview of the latest developments, achievements, activities, and events of our dynamic assembly. So join me. Let's dive into the Tobago House of Assembly's Week in Review right here on 116.
Want to get better? Where to start? What kind of exercise to do? What to eat? How to get restful sleep? Need a doctor to search for root cause? Look no further. Come to Majuba Hill Lifestyle Center Foundation at our Wellness Center in Goodwood, or Food Hub in Darrow Springs, Scarborough, or Doctor's Office in Goodwood and Darrow Spring. Contact 49 Swift 4979 438.
You can now get whatever you need whenever you need it anywhere in Tobago with Tobago. Your meals, medication, groceries, and shopping all delivered directly to you. No more hassle, no more stress. Get the Tobago app today on Google Play or Apple App Store.
That's TAPPOGO and let us deliver to you.
Check our website at www.tapogo.app or call the experts at 494-TOGO and 484-4746. Tobago. Relax. We will get it to you. Tobago's at your service.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Good morning and welcome back to Youth Wednesdays on Tobago Updates Morning Show. You're viewing us here live in Portmore, Scarborough, Tobago. This is our final interview for you this morning on Youth Wednesdays, and this morning we'll be discussing with Brother Francis John, coming to share with us what his Gosplosion extravaganza will be coming this weekend. He's certainly no stranger to us, especially no stranger to us here in Tobago. So good morning to you and welcome, Brother Francis John.
Morning.
And I say brother with a purpose, right? You seem to be a jack of all trades. I hope the latter part of that phrase does not apply to you, where you're not the master of any. But you seem to be the master of quite a number of things that you wear hats for. But just for the viewers who don't know who you are, just share with us who you are and what you do. All of what you do.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Well, as you heard, my name is Francis John. I am an artist, portrait artist. Actually, I in every area of art, I'm involved. Also, well, I also sing. I love to sing.
Yeah.
I play the guitar.
You play the guitar?
Yes.
Lord.
I play the guitar. I'm also, well, most people know I'm also a preacher.
You're a preacher.
A preacher of righteousness. You know, actually that's one of my passion.
Right.
One of my great passion, and so on. And so.
So that's all that you do.
Yeah,
in a nutshell.
I actually also I recently got into graphic design and so on.
Is that so?
Yeah, graphic design, you know, anything in the creative area.
Right.
You know, I am, in fact, as you said, you know, I'm involved in every area of art.
Right.
Composer also, compose song, music, writer, compose. I write, I compose.
Okay. Yeah. So you wear a lot of hats. So you're here this morning to discuss your Gosplosion extravaganza. Just walk us through what that means and what it is.
Okay. So actually, it's the purpose of celebrating it's about three things.
Mm-hmm.
Celebrating my birthday, which will be tomorrow, the 11th of September.
Is that so?
Yeah.
How old would you be turning tomorrow?
Actually, I'll be 70 years young.
17?
70.
Well, I could have swear you're a lot younger than that, guys. I mean, the camera doesn't do you justice. But you guys have to come and see him in person to see exactly what I'm referring to.
Yeah.
But you don't look a day over 60, man.
Okay, thank you very
Yes,
much.
man. Yes, man.
Thank you very much. So I'll be celebrating my 70th birthday tomorrow. I'm also, the same day with the concert, we will be celebrating, my wife and I, celebrating our anniversary also, which is the 14th.
Okay.
The same day with the concert.
How many years will you guys be celebrating?
Well, it's only about 10 years.
Well, you know, it's. I mean, give God praise and thanks.
Yes.
You can't downplay how many years you've been.
Yes, we have to praise the
You
Lord.
didn't have to say yes, you know.
Yeah.
You understand? So
true.
Yeah.
So we have to give God all the praise for it. And also, I'll be launching 2 more of my songs, my compositions. Also, I'll be launching that year.
All right, all right.
There's already one on YouTube since about a year now.
Right.
But I'm launching 2 more. Yeah.
So I don't know if you want to give a sneak peek or you want to do the unveiling of those songs or the debuting of those songs on the thing. You want to give a little insight as to what the songs are, or just some insight as to some of the songs that you would have composed and written and sung thus far.
Okay, so there's one already on YouTube. It's called "He's My Everything."
Give me a little tune, Nick.
I wonder if you can go on YouTube and get it. I don't know.
Well, give me a little sing. You could sing.
It go like this. I was so lonely, sinking deep in sin. My Jesus rescued me and cleansed me within. He's living in my heart. He'll never depart. I know I'm praising him. He's my everything.
All right.
That's why I love Jesus. My Jesus, I love my Jesus. Every day I love Jesus. My Jesus, I love my Jesus. He has saved my soul from sin. That's why I love my Jesus. He's my everything. Okay, that's the first one that's on YouTube for about a year now.
Yes.
You know, and then I have 2 others that was released recently. One called Jesus Makes Me Smile, and another one called Give Him Praise.
All right.
So, you know.
So a lot of these songs will be part of your gospel, gosplosion.
Yeah.
Are there any other special persons coming to sing with you in this Thanksgiving, or would it just be solely you and your band? What to expect?
It's really about Francis, John, and friends.
Okay, right.
Yes, so there'll be other artists,
right?
Other recognized and popular Tobago artists will be involved also. You know, people like Delisa Wilson,
okay.
Dreda George.
All right.
You know. And many more.
So it's going to be taking place on the 14th of September.
The 14th, yeah, which is Sunday coming.
Sunday coming, 7 p.m. sharp. Where exactly is this going to be taking place? Where we are viewing the flyer, I'm seeing here it's going to be at the Scarborough Library Auditorium.
Well, yes, it will be taking place at the Scarborough Library Auditorium, right? As you heard earlier, the 14th, which is Sunday coming. Sunday coming actually we placed it for 7 p.m. But we're considering working people and school children and so on. We decided to move it to 5:30.
5:30?
5:30.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, to accommodate everybody.
Okay.
Right,
so you send Tobago updates on updated flyers so that we could post on your behalf. What about entry fees? There are entry fees.
Yes. Yes. The fees will be adults $100 and children $50. $50.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
Would there be free food? Or food on sale?
Well, yes. So we're hoping to have those. there will be things like refreshments, etc.
Right.
Yes.
Right. You know, we Tobagonians have,
yes,
you know, like we belly real bad.
Yes, yeah.
So,
I realized that. Since I came to Tobago to live, I realized that. And I also fell into the same.
Of course. Don't be modest now. You stopped so long time, right? It's just that, you know, you got the best here.
Yes, the best.
Yes.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yes. So I want to thank you for joining us this morning.
Yes.
Just for the purpose and for the benefit of our viewers, just kind of remind them, you know, about your event, where it will be taking place, and where and the cost attached to your event on Sunday.
Of course. Thank you.
So just kind of rehash to the viewership. Just tell them again about your event.
Okay. So this concert again, we will be taking place at the library's auditorium, Scarborough Library Auditorium. It's on the 14th of September 2025. The time is no longer 7 p.m. We, considering working people and school children, we moved the time from 7 p.m. to 5:30 p.m. Right? It's in honoring the life of Francis John, which is me. You know, my vision, my resilience, and song. Right? So see and be there. Don't miss it. This promises to be a big one.
Okay. Thank you very much, Pastor St. John. Thank you very much for joining us. And guys, this brings us to the end of Youth Wednesdays. We want to, before I go, I just want to quickly post something that an experience that I had over the weekend that I think would be remiss of me not to share. I was hungry Sunday night actually, and I traveled down to the along the Chauvin Road there, and I visited Seven Secrets, and this is what I got. So what you're looking at here is their signature pink salmon, cheesy broccoli with baked beans and mashed potatoes. So they have several pink salmon. You know, they do that is a cheesy sauce. They have a lemon pepper sauce, barbecue, pineapple. I think that should be it. They have many more options, but I want to big up Seven Secrets for their tasty meals all the time. Very tasty and healthy food. I buy fish. I don't eat shell food. It's at there's I don't know the name of the place, but it's along the Chauvin along the Chauvin Plaza just before the lights. They just help me out there. It's where the this Block 22 just moved to that location. Is where it's a food hub, a new food hub in the area. Yes, the Boko food hub that they call it. I don't know there to be Boko, but yes, you can visit there. Seven Secrets, you know, call them in advance. They have rice bowls, etc. But big up to you, Seven Secrets. I had to put you up this morning. I hope that you guys continue cooking good food, you know, real good food. So guys, that brings us to the end of Youth Wednesdays on the Tobago Updates Morning Show. Thank you for joining us. Remember to share the live. We come right back for Good Morning Tobago.
Come on, the show starts. night, good folks of this blessed island. My name is Time, keeper of the sacred clock. Old, unwelcome,
Yes.
and certainly overworked.
Which part?
The audience will decide, leaving all unanswered questions behind, whether time is really longer than twine.
Come in at the yard. 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 Come in at the yard.
We don't even understand the kind of people that we have on our team. We have people who are not lighting text, who are able to, by memory, because they work so closely with TPAC and they work so closely with Rayshon, that they were able to just press by cue when the lights had to go on, when the lights had to go on, when the music had to go off, I sat amazed. I've seen this production. And I was sitting here and I was trying to ask myself, what did they cut? Despite the fact that we did have to make some cuts, we did not lose the essence of the production. And that was the most important thing for me.
We come into a different country, they get to see our culture, and with that it's a better marketing, so they want to come to the country more to see this again.
This version just seemed to have gotten better, you know. It was well appreciated by the crowd, and I'm very proud of the talent that we have.
As much as it is, we were under a little bit of time constraints and all of that, the mere fact that it is we are here and we are able to present ourselves, that in itself is quite a good step for Tobago.
They want me to keep you away from the sun.
Wait, what?
No, wait, what? What do I expect, Nola? Them is not good people, Nola, and sheep can't make goat.
Auntie, I so fed up of this. It's like I can't choose for myself. My life is not my own.
The production here tonight, the audience, myself included, we were mesmerized.
So I dress up for nothing.
Trinidad and Tobago, we are talented. Our young persons, our actors, our artisans, we have the best talent. Time is longer than twine. It just harness that and put a group of young persons capable of bringing something on script alive at Carifesta.
There's a saying that says, success is the sum of small efforts repeated day in and day out. And what these C, CAPE, and CSEC students did, day in and day out, was never give up. As such, the Division of Education, Research and Technology hosted its annual Pioneers of Excellence Award ceremony, celebrating these students.
We are gathered here this morning, Tobago, to celebrate brilliance. What are we doing here today is not just to simply hand out awards, but we are here to declare that Tobago students are capable of greatness, and that greatness deserves to be seen, to be honored, and to be lifted high. The young people before us are more than just names on a program. They are living proof that Tobago's children can excel, and that hard work still matters. And most importantly, that discipline and sacrifice open doors. And so my students, all of you on the stage this morning, my charge to you is simple. Simple yet profound. Do not allow today to be your peak. Let it be the foundation of an even greater legacy. Because excellence, my dear students, is not a one-time award. It is a way of life. It is choosing discipline when others are distracted. It is choosing honesty when others try to shortcut the system. And it is choosing courage when challenges arise. And so this morning, as Secretary of Education, Research and Technology, a representative of the Executive Council of the Tobago House of Assembly, I want you to remember this. Tobago is watching you. Tobago is counting on you. Tobago believes in you. You are our pioneers of excellence, not only because of what you achieved last year and this year, but because of what we know you will achieve in the years to come. Congratulations to each of you. May this ceremony not only celebrate your past effort, but ignite your future greatness. May your light shine so brightly that others are inspired to follow. And may Tobago rise because you dared to dream.
To our C students, you have conquered your first major academic milestone. The C exam has sparked much national debate because of the immense pressure it places on our children. And yet, you students stood tall. You faced the challenge and you emerged successful. That is definitely no small feat. Many of your peers would have struggled, but you were resilient and you demonstrated tenacity. To our CSEC and CAPE students, you didn't simply top your class in Tobago, you earned your place among the best in the Caribbean. That is a phenomenal achievement. You have demonstrated once again that students from this little island and many persons from humble beginnings can compete on the world stage.
Keynote speaker Anthurium Lewis, in her delivery, told the honorees she was once in their position, and though she excelled in academics, her life was all about balance.
Each one of you, by earning your place on the merit list for CSEC or CAPE, and the young scholars who topped the SCA examinations, have done exactly that. You have ventured into unknown territory of difficult subjects, complex equations, and self-discipline, and you have emerged victorious, carving a path of excellence for yourselves and inspiring those who will come after you. I know that path well. Just 5 years ago, I was exactly where our top SCA students are today. I was an 11-year-old from St. Andrew's Anglican Primary School, filled with both excitement and nerves, having placed in the top 10 for Tobago. I remember the relief, the pride, and the feeling that a door to the future had been swung wide open. That door that led to Bishop's High School, Tobago. It led to late nights and early mornings. It led to developing my own self-drive and staying determined through both shallow and deep waters. And it led to me, this year, where I was blessed to achieve a total of 12 grade 1s at CSEC. Furthermore, to be a well-rounded student, you shouldn't just have top grades. It's about building a rich and resilient character. It means understanding that your mind grows not only in the classroom, but on the sports field, in the art studio, through community service, and in thoughtful conversation with others.
Secretary in the division, Ms. Hackett, introduced the first Secretary's Pioneers Award for Academic Excellence, which will be presented to a student who demonstrates extraordinary distinction.
Recognize anywhere you go. Have your certificate to show.
That was a production of the Department of Information, Office of the Chief Secretary, Tobago House of Assembly.
You're viewing Tobago Updates Television, your exclusive gateway to Tobago, broadcasting the beauty of this island paradise to the world.
It's a brand new morning.
right here on Tobago Updates. I am your host, Chanel Felix. And whenever you see me sitting here, it's because we're about to have those conversations that you want to have while I ask those questions that you want asked. But before we get into this morning's interesting topics and conversations, let's have our news in 90 seconds. The Division of Education, Research and Technology has rejected allegations by the Trinidad and Tobago Unified Teachers Association that Tobago schools were unfit to reopen. Tutor Tobago officer Braden Roberts had highlighted unsanitary conditions at the Mason Hall Government Primary School, accusing the division of poor planning and communication. DIRTEC admitted repair delays at the school but denied students were instructed to share washrooms. Attendance reported showed most schools opened smoothly, with 78.4% of students and 93% of teachers present across Tobago schools. Additionally, Prime Minister Kamala Persad-Bissessar has dismissed Colombian President Gustavo Petro's appeal for Trinidad and Tobago to search for bodies following a U.S. airstrike on an alleged drug boat on September 2nd. Persad-Bissessar said that state resources will not be used to recover dead drug traffickers, though remains found on local shores will be collected. She insisted the vessel was not civilian and defended the strike as part of the fight against trafficking. Petro's statement drew criticism while regional security tensions heightened following the incident. And finally, the Port Authority has added 7 round trips on the sea bridge between October 23rd to 29th to meet the demand for Tobago's October Carnival, creating 11,304 extra passenger seats. The Galleon Passage leads with 4 additional sailings, operating 5,600 seats. The APT James will provide 2 more trips, adding 3,704 seats, while the Booker Reef contributes 1 trip with 2,000 seats. Half of the added capacity caters to one-way travel to Port of Spain from Port of Spain to Scarborough, and officials have confirmed that this announcement has sparked immediate rush in ticket purchases. And that is on news in 90 seconds. Guys, before we even get into this morning's discussions, as you heard in our news in 90 seconds, with the extra sailings being put on, you want to ensure that you secure your sailing now. If you have any plans of coming to Tobago or leaving Tobago around Tobago Carnival period, so this is your time to do so. This morning, I have the privilege of sitting here in studio and having quite an interesting discussion. This morning, I'm going to be having 2 really exciting conversations, but my first conversation this morning will be with Dr. Keith Nurse, who is a senior economist from the World Trade Organization, and former World Trade Organization chair. This morning we are talking about development and expansion of the orange economy here in Tobago. Good morning, Dr. Nurse, and welcome.
Good morning. Can you hear me?
I can hear you clearly. Now, you have an extensive resume. For the persons who may not know you or be familiar with you, you are former principal / CEO of the Sir Arthur Lewis Community College in St. Lucia, and you have worked as a senior economist and advisor on structural policy and innovation at the OECD Development Center in Paris. And that's, just the tip of the iceberg. You have also been the former chair of the World Trade Organization at the University of the West Indies, and you have done a number of things where economics is concerned and development. But this morning, you are going to give us the pleasure and the privilege of talking about development on a whole, and particularly where the orange economy is in Tobago and how we can really use that to help propel this economic diversification strategy that we've been trying to implement for so long. Good morning again and welcome.
Good morning, and thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be on Tobago Updates. Tobago is one of my, was very critical in my formative age. I grew up in Tobago for a number of years. So my first recollection of living in Trinidad and Tobago was in Tobago. So, yeah. I would just add into my resume, I'm currently the president of COSTAT, which is the College of Science, Technology and Applied Arts in Trinidad and Tobago. We have operations in Tobago at the Port Mall. So just to let you know that we do operate in Tobago as well. But let me get straight to the question. Well, when we talk about the orange economy, we're really talking about, in part, the cultural and creative industries. So that's a term that we've been using for a long time now. And what it refers to are those industries that involve the production and distribution of, let's call it cultural or creative content. That could include everything from film and animation to books, song recordings, photographs, but it could also include live performances, whether you're talking about drama or whether you're talking about dance, and the list goes on. But in recent years, this notion has expanded even further to include some of the productions in social media. So we talk about the creator economy, and that has been growing by leaps and bounds globally. For Tobago, I've looked at the case of Tobago for a number of years. In fact, I've been involved in a number of studies over the years. So for example, the strong area in Tobago's orange economy would be the festivals. So as you just indicated in your news item, I'm pretty sure the seats on both the planes and boats are going to be filled up very quickly for Tobago Carnival. So that's an example of what we call festival tourism. And so that's a strong suit for Tobago. I've done work on your Tobago Jazz Experience. I've done work on your Blue Food Festival. And those are really good examples of how Tobago can enhance its orange economy or the creative sector.
Excellent. And, recently we saw an entire Tobago contingent go to New York for the Tobago Day celebration, as well as that Carifesta celebration in Barbados. And, these are the type of investments that we see Tobago making internationally and regionally, to help to boost the confidence of our creatives, but also, expand to the world what Tobago has to offer. What other types of key investments in the sector do you think is needed to help drive its economic contribution back to Tobago's overall development?
Mm-hmm. Well, some of it has to do with some infrastructure. So when people come to Tobago, where can they see or experience productions? So for example, Tobago Speech Band is one of my favorite, and it fits into the whole genre of a speech performance. And but where can you see it? Sometimes you get to see it at a hotel, but outside of that, where can you see it? I mean, the same problem applies in Trinidad as well. So outside of Carnival, where can you see a seal band performing, for example, if you're just a regular visitor or traveler to Trinidad and also to Tobago? So ensuring that we have not just the infrastructure, but we have the programming to showcase our art forms becomes a really important element of the tourism package. And so that's where our tourism package is fairly weak. The other area where we can expand is creating what I call an export platform for our creatives. So if they are involved in performance, or even if they're involved in animation and film, how do we create an export capacity that would generate foreign exchange? Because everyone's talking about foreign exchange these days, and the creative sector has a critical role to play there. So in festival tourism, we attract visitors, we spend resources within our country. It has a direct impact or multiplier effect on the economy, and it can be very significant. So that's a definite area, and Tobago has, I think, a strong potential to attract an increased amount of festival tourism activity, because it's we need to strengthen the air bridge and the sea bridge to make it more seamless. But Tobago has all the makings for a strong festival tourism strategy.
Understood. And even as you spoke about the export of that animation potential, we know that Tobago has its animation studio down there at Cove. You know, how do we begin to make those connections globally with the large companies, you know, with the Hollywood studios, in order to get Tobago's indigenous, even animated products that represent our culture and our values, and have that shipped out to the world?
I've actually visited the studio and met with the young people who are training. It was quite an exhilarating experience, I must admit. So kudos to those who've been involved in establishing that capacity. So there are two key things for the animation sector. What you want to do is attract, let's call it subcontracting work, so that you're working on behalf of animation companies. And that requires you to be out there showing your capacity. And this is where capacity does matter. So it can't be just one or two animators. You have to have a strong cadre of animators who can do many different aspects of the value chain. So there are terms like cleaning and compositing and editing and so on. So you have to have some critical mass. So you're talking about 10s and 20s of young people who can do these particular jobs, and they must be trained to do specifically what is required. So that's the subcontracting route. So you would either go to some of the major companies in North America or in India. India does a lot of subcontracting work in this area, as well as some of the African countries and Central American countries. So you partner with them. But there's also an opportunity for building out indigenous content or original content. And this is where maybe drawing on some of the mythologies and stories of Tobago might be a basis for creating this new original content and then exporting that content. But yeah, animation is one of those areas where there's a strong capability in Tobago now. And yeah, I would love to see it expand even further.
Excellent. And, you know, are there any courses at Costa right now available within the industry that persons can benefit from?
Yeah, we have a fairly strong music program. So that's one of the strongest areas. But we are also well known for our communication studies, graphic design, and so on. So recently we ran an online course for creative writing, and it was offered across the whole Caribbean. So it focused on 4 key areas of creative writing. So writing for publishing, like book publishing and so on, which is what most people associate creative writing with. But we also did songwriting. We did writing for advertisement, copywriting. And then we also did script writing for like film and animation and so on. So yes, it was well received. We had guest lecturers from around the world. And so it was at a high level or high caliber area of training. And that's, I can tell you, because I've been involved in the film business for a long time now, a lot of people think it's about the tech, when in fact the story is what is the compelling value addition. If the story is no good, it doesn't matter how good your tech is. So getting the story down properly, learning how to write and be a creative writer is probably the most important investment in the creative sector. And that's something that we do at COSTAT as well.
Excellent. And, just talk to us a bit about how that investment in the artistry, the orange economy can truly help to boost Tobago's competitiveness throughout the region. Because when you look at the Caribbean, specifically from the European angle or from the United States angle, some people just paint the Caribbean territories with a broad stroke approach, thinking that they're all the same. You go to the beach, you have the same experience. How can we then harness the creative sector to differentiate ourselves from our neighboring islands?
Okay. Well, so one of the key strengths that the orange economy generates for the tourism sector is that it facilitates what we call destination branding. So Tobago has some fairly unique elements to it. So, for example, Tobago's changed hands more times than any other country in the Caribbean. If I recall, it's 42 times. And then, Tobago also has this unique experience of having hosted, if I could call it that, people from what are now called, they were called Colanders back then. So that's countries like Estonia and Latvia currently. And so, for example, I would say to you, how can we utilize some of these unique stories about Tobago to brand the destination? But you can also use the creative sector to do what we call intellectual property branding. So in Tobago, you have something called Susumba, which is this unique product, very healthy. It's very good for you. I've had it. It does wonders. Why don't more people know about it? Why are you not in Tobago producing more of Susumba? How can you use your creative economy to generate demand for something like Susumba, given that really it's a superfood? And then you utilize Susumba as the basis for attracting people to come to Tobago as part of the experience. So other countries have been able to do that sort of thing, utilize a product to brand the destination. And we call that intellectual property branding, because now you're making sure that it's either patented or copyrighted, as the case may be, if it's an experience. And this is the new tools that we are utilizing to galvanize value and foreign exchange and earnings for the creative sector and for the tourism sector by extension. So it's a novel approach. When you go to many of the tourist conferences, all people talk about are what we say, heads in beds and bums in seats. They talk about the airline industry and they talk about hotels. They don't talk about how to attract visitors, how to expand the media impact of the sector. Very much what you were talking about. How do you differentiate Tobago from the other territories? And so that's a very excellent question.
I'm glad that you brought that up, and I think that's an excellent idea. And for the persons who are listening, who are in the right positions to make the change and make the investment, I think that's an excellent idea. I can already see the documentary playing on screens, even at Piaco Airport and at different places. I can see it. But we want to thank you so much for your time this morning and just giving us a little drop in the bucket of your knowledge. And is there anything that you want to say to Tobagonians or just, some of our policymakers as it pertains to utilizing what we have to get to where we want to be?
Yeah. Well, it ultimately comes down to both having a strategy and secondly, putting in place the required governance structures. And this is where we tend to fall down. We may have good ideas, but when we try to convert that into strategy, And strategy actually requires us to do some homework, like doing economic impact assessments, like putting in place mechanisms to ensure that we are utilizing the resources in an effective way and that we could document it, right? And that's all part of the governance framework. So those are the two areas I would say that we need to strengthen. So it's about institutional capacity to ensure that our successes can be reproduced again and again, irrespective of the personalities. So you might have one person who's driving this process and doing a very good job. And when that person leaves, all falls down. Well, you want to ensure that you have the capacity to reproduce, even if that person isn't around. So that's what we call institutionalization of the process. So that's where I would say that most of our countries in the region have fallen down. We are small economies and small, places, but we can ill afford to be repeating these kinds of mistakes again and again and again. So strategy and governance is the key point. Yeah.
Excellent, Dr. Nurse, and I look forward to chatting with you again in the future. But we want to say thank you to you, and we're going to take a quick break right here, and we'll be back with much more conversations right here on Tobago Updates. See you soon right after this.
It's a brand new morning, rise up to a brand new dawning as the passion starter.
Are you in a dispute with a registered investment service provider of the TTSEC? Or maybe you're the victim of an investment scam? You can lodge a complaint or submit an anonymous tip to the Trinidad and Tobago Securities and Exchange Commission. Download our Investor Protection app or go to ttsec.org.tt to access our complaint form or submit an anonymous tip. Write a clear summary of your complaint. Submit copies of supporting documents along with the originals for verification. Provide a copy of the feedback received from the entity regarding your complaint. All investor complaints or scam reports submitted by the public are acknowledged and reviewed by the TTSEC. Investigations are pursued based on the outcome of the review. Trinidad and Tobago Securities and Exchange Commission, protecting the interests of investors and the public. You invest, we protect. Everyone benefits.
The event of this century is here. AMPLIA. 100 years of excellence to honor the past and ignite the future. Saturday, September 30th at the Magdalena. The Centennial Gala, hosted by Bishop's High School Tobago. An all-inclusive evening of entertainment, culinary delights, and timeless vibes. And at midnight, raise your glass as we welcome the next 100 years. Limited early bird tickets, $750. Secure yours at islandetickets.com. An all-white affair. One night, one century, one legacy.
Want to get better? Where to start? What kind of exercise to do? What to eat? How to get restful sleep? Need a doctor to search for root cause? Look no further. Come to Majuba Hill Lifestyle Center Foundation at our Wellness Center in Goodwood, or Food Hub in Darrow Springs, Scarborough, or Doctor's Office in Goodwood and Darrow Springs. Contact 49SWIFT 4979438.
I send in a big, 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 big dirty bun for you.
Better than them.
And I have a big, 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 big dirty bun for you. So you better door run, door run, door run.
Good morning and welcome back to Good Morning Tobago right here on Tobago Updates. I am your host Chanel Felix, and guys, we are back with much more interesting topics and conversations. Now, we've heard some interesting questions being asked by the All Tobago Fisher Folk Association, led by President Curtis Douglas. You know, he's been asking the questions as it pertains to what we're seeing happening with the U.S. being in that Venezuelan water space that's very close to Trinidad and Tobago, and the recent airstrike that took place. Good morning, Mr. Douglas, and welcome.
Good morning, and good morning to all the viewers, local and also international.
So you've been asking the questions that the people want to know. You know, what is Tobago's position on the United States airstrike that took place recently, and them being present in waters that are so close to where Tobago fishermen are fishing? Recently with that airstrike, it was suggested that the attack was on persons who are in the drug trade, related to that. But you are asking, where are all leaders to defend the fishermen that may be out on waters, that may be innocent in situations where the United States has identified these boats as being a threat? Tell us a bit about where that fear resides among the fishermen, and why you felt the need to really come out and raise that concern.
Now, my duty is to represent not only the fishermen, but also people of Tobago as a Tobagonian. And I just want to make it very clear, Chanel. There is no mistake. There is a serious drug trade between Venezuela and TNT. Let people don't believe or think for a while that, the evidence is not true. We've been warning them for years about this.
And the Colombian drug cartel is also a part of the target that they are trying to eradicate in this whole fight against drugs.
Correct. And it is true, because they all pass through Tobago waters, and they use Tobago as a catalyst to do a lot of things. Even when the jetty was operating in Plymouth with the gas station, we used to see numerous speedboats, right? And some of them was open about it, right? So it's not new news, it's old news. But old news start to come to reality, and a lot of people start to see what is really taking place. And when they talk about international waters, basically the waters of Trinidad and Tobago, it is so close to us. In fact, it is us. It is so close to us, and fishermen is scared that they are being targeted mistakenly. Because, okay, let me tell you how easy it is. A couple of months ago, a boat from Belgarden was stolen from right in the harbor of Belgarden with two big powered engines, and he was a fisherman. That was how he survived. And I would have seen that boat showed up in Venezuela and see how they catch it and whatever, crying guns and trying to destabilize the country. Rubbish. That boat was stolen by these people to do the drug trade. So what they do, they used to come to Tobago waters, steal our engine, steal the boats, and use these engines and these boats to do their drugs run. Right? Make no mistake, I'm not defending anyone. People may not like what I'm saying, but right now I'm here about the truth, and I'm here about the concern and the welfare of my children and the fisher folk and the people of Tobago. Hence the reason why, from my information, what I have in, I'm going to let the people know as much as I can. Because when the United States performed the act, they didn't operate just like that, right? Obviously, they have some kind of intel that we are not privy to. Okay? We are not privy to. And from what I am seeing, if this is to escalate, some form of mitigated or some kind of urgency have to take place, because it is very easily that a Tobago fisherfolk or a Trinidad fisherfolk could be blown out of the water as well mistakenly.
Right. So you are asking that the Chief Secretary be involved in that conversation to ensure that whatever is happening out on that waters, that it definitely eliminates Tobagonians from that. So you are asking that he advocates that there is that strong differentiation mechanism between the drug cartels and drug-related runs from the average Tobago fisherman who is out on the water, you know, just plying their trade. Talk to us a bit about that.
No, yes, I am asking, it's very ironic. I'm really asking politely, respectfully, that the Chief Secretary come out and say something, have a meeting with the Old Tobago fisherfolk, meet with the fisherfolk to ensure that some form of, you know, guidance along that line. Because Tobago cannot be left out if fighting really start. We will be seeing the fireworks, and we will be seeing, you know, God forbid, bodies wash ashore in Tobago from this incident, because they are concentrated, you know, close Trinidad is to Venezuela. Venezuela closer to Trinidad than Tobago to Trinidad. Very close. And from the high seas, what we are saying, it is quite easy. Imagine we are calling upon the Chief Secretary to do the honorable thing. When times are need, we know our leaders lead from the front. So we are calling upon him, not for no bacchanal, not for no racale, but for the interest of the fishing industry. Because what will gonna happen is either we decide to tell the fishermen to stand down, or to try to fish between 10 miles and try to keep that within that perimeter. Because what we don't want Tobagonians or fisherfolk losing their lives. Because our lives are important. Because when you lose a life, it has a spiral effect down to our families and friends. So we need to preserve Tobago life. So we need to have that conversation, and we need to have a plan in moving forward to protect the fisherfolk. Because make a no mistake that if this is to escalate, price of fish gonna get very high, and it's gonna be very scarce. Because now what you would see is that we may had to start to eat tuna in the tin, right, in port, because you can't risk your life.
True.
Where you see people you can't say is if we are seeing the evidence of the aggressiveness by the Americans.
Right, and as we talk about evidence, you have been cited as saying that there has been remains from that U.S. airstrike from the boat that they struck down that has washed ashore in Tobago. How can you verify this information?
Now, 4 days ago, which was probably Saturday, some fisherfolk was going out, more than one fisherfolk. Mainly, the video was taken by this guy from Palatavere. You know, kudos to the Palatavere fisherfolk that is paying attention to their surrounding. That is right outside Sisters, basically right outside Charlottesville, between Charlottesville and Palatavere. 10 to 11 miles. That's, Chanel, you could sit in your house, and if the boat was floating, you would have seen it quite clearly. That is all close. Now we have a draft that is coming down from on top of the Tobago Speyside come down. That bring down the flying fish, and the current come down. And that is a channel most thing come through. So hence the reason why we end up on that side. It is glaring. It is glaring. And one, if you decide, if I would have advised the fisherfolk not to even try to venture to see if there's any remains or any kind of drug, because next thing that happened, we have been watched and they have been targeted as well. So we just leave it, let it go this way. That is the Coast Guard work to do. We would have done our part, which is we intend to work with the authorities, reporting any sightings, reporting anything, and also to be cautious. It is right there. Make no mistakes. If this is to escalate, you will see bodies in the waters of Tobago.
Right. But with the level of technology that the United States has, especially when it comes to surveillance and intelligence gathering, we know that they have high-powered drones. They also use satellites to monitor the waters. Don't you think that it is a bit difficult to make the assumption that they will confuse a regular fisherman from Tobago with the drug cartels that are, either Venezuelan or Colombians that they are targeting?
You know how things operate. The drug cartel, or the mafia, as they say, or the drug cartel is a big industry. This is a multi-billion-dollar industry. Nothing is stopping them from creating a boat and putting TFT on it. TFT, the meaning Tobago Fisher Folks. Fisher, you understand me? TFTT, or any sign showing that this boat is registered in Trinidad, spray printing a flag on it as Trinidadian. You understand me? And trying to transport to get through the network. These people are very intelligent. So even though you have a drones and you have your technology, you still have to be cautious. You still have to be cautious. How many times you see in a war, even in Gaza, they say they're shooting missiles to kill people, and they're killing people in hospitals and children dying. It is quite easy, and they have one of the state-of-the-art technologies. So one cannot take risks with their lives when coming to that. But I can't say, what type of intelligence the government of Trinidad and Tobago, what type of relationship does the Trinidad and Tobago have with, in the terms of exchanging information? I do not know, because that probably classified. But what I could say that we are at a brink whereby our whole fishing industry can collapse, and also we run the risk of losing lives of our fisher folk in Tobago. Quite clearly, it is a great deal. It is a serious thing. So hold home and saying, yeah, let it this and that. One thing I want to make sure and make categorically clear: the drug trade is real, and it is serious, and it is not fake, right? And the only thing I'm a bit challenged with is the method. But who am I to say what method they should use? All I am here to say is that the Chief Secretary should reach out or make a public statement to the people of Tobago to give them that form of reassurance that it is okay, or their lives with his intelligence we may get from the government, so that fisher folk could fish comfortable and they could go out and ply the trade. And I would advise to walk between 40, 30, and 35 and 40 miles to ensure the safety. And when you leave early in the morning, like all 4 o'clock, try to reach home back in an ample time instead of reaching home 9 and 10 o'clock. Please, at least to give your family that sense of reassurance. I know it might affect the yield, but please, safety over everything.
Understood. And, even as you have, on the behalf of the All Tobago Fisher Folk Association, requested that the Chief Secretary come out and give you that level of reassurance, what do you think can reassure fisher folk at this time?
What will reassure fisher folk is, being the Chief Secretary, you're supposed to be entitled to a lot of classified information, some intelligence. Let me use the term intelligence. And you should know whether it is okay or not for your fisher folk to be able to venture 35, 40, or even 20 miles. And if you realized there's a danger, I don't want to panic, you can tell them, stand down and let's work something. I probably give them a stipend at least to mind the family, or whatever the case may be. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying some form of initiative to give that kind of reassurance, because you can't tell me you're in your house and you don't know what is going on in your house. You must know what is going on in your house. So, but you must have that conversation and that reassurance to the fisher folk, because you don't want panic, right? And when a man can't feed his family, it's very difficult. But a dead man, on the other hand, cannot feed his family. If you're dead, you can't feed your family. And we're trying to avoid that. So it is very important that we prepare for the worst. We must start preparing for the worst. Or, let me rephrase that, we must prepare for the best. We must, but it must be a collaborative effort. This is not Plymouth or Canaan. No. This is Tobago and Trinidad that is facing these things. And I would have seen recently where the President of the United States say, shoot them down. Right? Shoot them down. And I'm saying, even though they shoot them down, debris will end up in the waters of Tobago, all over Tobago, because we are so close. Make no mistake.
Right. And what do we do to manage that? How do we manage the fallout from that? Specifically, if you have, dead bodies washing up on shores in Tobago, specifically on beaches where, are tourist sites. How do we manage that?
Well, how you do manage it? I mean, I will tell you. Normally, I mean, the chief secretary would have been able to say how to manage it. But let me explain how you manage it. Where you manage it, you would not use, basically, you will not use the Coast Guard because at this time, you will need the Coast Guard to protect your borders and your boundaries, right? So what you do, it will be a collaborative effort with the fisher folk, with ATFA, to ensure that we scan and achieve these bodies if possible. If possible. If possible. Remember, this is not a war with Tobago or Trinidad and Venezuela. This is a war between Venezuela and drug trade and America. So some form of financial effort must be put in by the Americans, right, to ensure that there's that collaboration whereby we can retrieve some of these bodies if necessary. But by the end of the day, all of that lies in the umbrage of the Prime Minister. She has the final say. She's the one who will determine whether, based on her intelligence, whether she's going to work with the fisher folk or going to work with the Coast Guard. This is just from my perspective, from my vast intelligence, seeing how we're going to treat with it, how easy it is to treat with it, right? And also, even though we have a lot of bodies, we have to understand where the current would take these bodies. Some would come ashore, some will go adrift, probably go to Grenada.
Yeah, I mean, but even, let's just say we have persons traveling on the fast ferry between Trinidad and Tobago. It could be a bit traumatizing to look out on the water and see remains floating, just as you are traversing between the two islands, even for tourists that are coming to the island via the fast ferry. I can't imagine being at the beach and then, you feel somebody hit you and you realize that
it's serious.
Yeah, it's a very serious situation.
This whereby AFA comes in collaboration. That's why I said it's a effort. It's a team effort to ensure that we not only protect our beaches, but protect that type of scourge that will happen to our society and our community. And once we have the coordinates and the sightings, we could work along with also the Coast Guard, because you don't want to take the Coast Guard, because now we'll be in a sense of panic where people will be, probably Venezuelan, be trying to come to Tobago for refuge or whatever the case may be. Because I would have seen a clip where Venezuelan armed on their pirogues and stuff going to sea, and it is quite easily that these vessels and these people could be floating in the waters of Tobago and Trinidad. But it must be an effort between ATFA and the THA and the government of Trinidad and Tobago, led by the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, Mr. Bissassa.
Excellent. And even as we round up our discussion this morning, finally, from the perspective of Tobago citizens, you are saying that, we should not be alarmed, we should not be panicked. But how do you think that we should treat with the situation, even on an individual level? How should we be looking at it? Specifically, you represent the fishermen who, as you indicated earlier on in our conversation, you see things out on the water that we don't see.
Correct.
So what do you advise?
I advise seriously to pay attention. And it is not a joke. This is a life-threatening situation. We are sitting back quite relaxed, and don't understand the tension or the possibility of a serious outbreak of war and dead bodies floating in our island. We need to start to pay attention of getting our kits ready, try to provide our food security, because with that it will affect our imports. It will. So we have to start to be very cautious. From the information that I have, it is serious and it is on the brink of breaking. So I'm saying, people, let us don't sit by and say like, God is a Trini. He may be a Tobagonian, but by the end of the day, we must be very careful and pay attention and be alert and mind your business. With the blink of an eye, you could see this thing escalating to something huge, which is already huge. Be very careful.
Understood. And we're glad that you can, kind of bring us some insights from the perspective of the fisher folk, because they are the persons who think that this is being blown out of proportion. It's not that big of a deal, and it's basically a conspiracy that the United States is in this territory looking for oil and gas or for any other assets, or to have that type of political interference in Venezuela, but using the drug trafficking or the drug trade as an excuse to do so. But you are saying, from the perspective of fishermen, you have seen time and time again the evidence that this war on drug trafficking and crime on the water is a real one that should not be taken for granted.
Chanel, human trafficking between Trinidad and, well, Venezuela and Trinidad and Tobago, and the drug trade, guns and arms and drugs and fentanyl and all these drugs are being done by the high seas. Make no mistake, I'm saying it today and I make no apologies. I mean saying it because I just like to talk. I'm saying it because it's a fact. Fact. I'm seeing where Venezuelan boats used to be running Tobago fishermen from in their own waters outside Belgrade. Men had to speed up their boat to get out. Venezuelan used to be running us. We seen big exchange out there. But if you can't get close, because we don't carry gun, we don't carry arms, they do. They come and fish and carry arms. It is no joke. No, if it wasn't real, I would have said, you know, the Americans really just trying to do something that is auspicious. But no, it is very serious. This drug trade, you see how much, you know why how much people getting shot down in Tobago with guns? Guns is not coming from no containers, you know. It's from the high seas. Right there. Right there, make no mistake. A Venezuelan come by me and work, and next thing, he never can catch take a plane to come here. And then you want to check it, they was in Brazil with our plane. The drug trade is very serious.
Understood.
So I'm not saying this because I like to talk. I'm saying we are at a serious position, and America is not playing, and we should not take this lightly, and we should be prepared. And the Chief Secretary, like all the Prime Ministers coming out, should sit down and work out with Tobagonians, and not only the fisher folk, with the entire populace of Tobago, the best way forward, because a storm is coming, but we must be prepared.
Understood. Well, I want to thank you so much for your time this morning and giving us a bit of insight. Guys, this is where we end off the morning show, and Good Morning Tobago right here on Tobago Updates. Again, we want to thank you so much for being a part of this morning's discussions. Thank you for your likes, your shares, and your comments, and all that you have been doing and continue to do to make Tobago Updates the #1 broadcaster here on the island of Tobago. Again, I am your host, Chanel Felix, and have a great day.
You're viewing Tobago Updates Television, your exclusive gateway to Tobago, broadcasting the beauty of this island